Good afternoon YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm heading home from Lochgilphead down towards Ayrshire. So this time I've decided to go through past Faslane Naval Base and along the Gareloch and through Helensburgh. I haven't done this road for a long time, so I'm quite excited to go that way. Now before I get there, we're going to head through places like Inveraray, and I'll take you to old Inveraray jail. I don't know if it's going to be open due to COVID. We'll have a look at Inveraray jail, Inveraray Castle, then we'll head on down the road. Stay tuned. Oh, it's going to be a wet day. Oh well, never mind. Still be a nice ride. What I usually find is when I'm out in the rain I can ride out over the other side quite quickly. Let's have a look down here. Wow, look at these little huts, little fishing huts. My days. I'll just turn the bike around a little bit. How far it goes. Guess these are old fishermen's houses because you can see the boat slips coming off them. There's another one. Very cool. What a place to live. Not sure I would want to maybe necessarily live there in the winter right enough. One of these old wooden shacks. But hey, room with a view. Wow. They're definitely occupied. There's somebody living in that. Why not? I would happily live in that, I can assure you. I'm a man of simple pleasures. Always wondered what's going on with this place. It's like really old buildings, almost like a mock film set, but that's not what it is, I don't think. I've no idea. Now open. I'm going to need to go in next time I'm up, without a doubt, find out what it's all about. And we're back in the rain. Welcome to Scotland. This is Inveraray. We'll pop through here and maybe have a look at this old jail at Inveraray. A lot of people go here. I've actually been in it before. Spent a long time in jails actually, so I'm never that keen on going in, to be honest. But see if you're going to be stuck in a jail. Here it's here. That's what you got. People spend a fortune for a view like that. Literally spend thousands a month to get a view like that. And here these guys were locked up. A nice view of Loch Fyne. Guess these people never complained. Out the back of the jail. Museum now, I guess you could call it. If you're into this type of thing, it's worth a visit. I always find them a wee bit too twee, if you know what I mean. But again, this is one of the better examples, I suppose. But all of that, people in costumes and talking in funny voices and all that, that's not really for me. What a view, by the way. Amazing. Love these old fishermen cottages and stuff. It's a really nice little town. We've got the jail, we've got the old church here that sits right in the centre. Drive right round it. And then you get into the shorefront here. Just round the corner is Inveraray Castle. I think we'll go and have a look at that now. Now, in a previous video, I visited Glen Fruin. I talked about the massacre there with those pesky Campbells on the Clan MacDonald. Now, just to tie that in a little bit, this castle here belongs to the Duke of Argyle. The Duke of Argyle is the head of the Clan Campbell, and this is his house. Bit of a fairy tale, eh? I love the green colour. So, when you're heading over from Loch Fyne towards Arrochar, and you see these mountains here, you're starting to head towards what we call the Arrochar Alps in Scotland. We don't have the Italian Alps or the Swiss Alps, we get the Arrochar Alps. Beautiful. What's not to love about this country, man? Very cool. Let's go to Garelochhead. So as I'm sure you can imagine, Arrochar here is really popular with hikers and walkers, but it's quite well known for its scuba diving here on Loch Long. Now, how do I know that? I used to be a scuba diving instructor. In fact, I still am occasionally. It's my major hobby outside of this one. Looking out on the loch here, there's lots of people paddle boarding. Do you know that thing where you stand up on what, well, it looks like a surfboard to me. Obviously I don't know much about it. I've always thought to myself, surely it'd be easier just to sit down like in a canoe, you know, with oars. But hey ho, who am I? It's really starting to brighten up. It's turning into a really nice day, thankfully. That's a nice little road as well. There's nobody on it. There's nobody here but me. Ministry of Defence property. Nah, that's a big deal here. It's part of the reason we're going here. If you ever drive down this road, and I recommend it, along Loch Long towards Garelochhead and Helensburgh, at some point you'll start to see lots of signs and stuff, you know, like controlled zone or Ministry of Defence property, things like that. It's not something to be afraid of, but it is something to be aware of, especially if you're on an adventure bike. You don't want to be going off-road in these areas. Anyway, I'll talk more about that in a minute. What's this say? Ah, there we go, Rossneath Peninsula, Garelochhead. Now, over to the right here's Coulport. I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm not going to drive over there. You can go, it's a village, but it's a lot more than just a village. Now, I'm just going to indulge myself a little bit. I'm just going to go over this little road here. Warning, troops training. Do not touch suspicious looking objects. Okay, so I'm riding down here because I know this area. I wouldn't necessarily, if you're coming up here, ride around if you like, but just be aware that, see if you see a gravel path or anything, don't go driving on it. This is Glen Fruin here. There was a battle here in 1603 between the clan MacGregor and the Colquhouns. Now, you probably heard of the MacGregors, Rob Roy MacGregor and all that. Well, anyway, the MacGregors were cattle thieves and they were in trouble a lot with the Scottish state, as it were. And they were raiding through onto the Colquhoun lands. So the Colquhouns were given permission to hunt the MacGregors. So the stage was set basically for a battle. The exact details are not known, obviously, because it was a long time ago. We thought the Colquhouns come up through this glen here, and then they cut around here. You see up towards these mountains. There's a little army camp right here. You can't see it. It's called Strone. I used to go there a lot, but that's a story for another video. That's why I know so much about this place. So anyway, the Colquhouns were heading through here, and the MacGregors surprised them coming down this hill here. So the Colquhouns were routed and they started to turn back, but another force of MacGregors came in behind them, and the Colquhouns suffered a huge defeat. Now after that they went back to the Scottish government again. They went back to King James VI, who King James VI incidentally in Scotland became King James I of England. Again, that's a story for another day. But anyway, from that day on the MacGregors could be hunted. The clan was outlawed basically, and people did hunt them. You were even allowed to use bloodhounds and all that type of thing. So the MacGregors won the battle, but they absolutely lost the war for the next couple of 100 years, and that lasted until around 1775. So for about 175 years the name MacGregor was outlawed. Unbelievable, eh? If you want to find this spot or this type of area, just be aware, don't go off-road here, right? This entire area is owned by the Ministry of Defence, about 33 square miles, and it's operated by the British Army. There's army camps everywhere. There's at least 500 personnel here at any given time, and that's because when you come up the hill there, just before you come to Garelochhead, you'll come up past Faslane Naval Base, which houses Britain's nuclear submarines, essentially. And just at the other side of that hill you've got Coulport. Now Coulport is where they hold the silos for the nuclear weapons. So this entire area is essentially owned by the military, different branches. During the Second World War there was about 20,000 US personnel in this area, and they used this entire area for training for Operation Overlord. Now there's actually two entire parachute drop areas here. It's a huge area, it's massive, but there's two entire parachute drop zones. It's a huge live firing zone just up over the hill here on the left. Now they use mortars. So if you come up here on your bike, stay on the roads, alright? Don't be riding off into the countryside. You can ride up the countryside. These lanes here are tiny, yeah, but for God's sake don't be going for a walk. Unless you come up here, you see this little plaque. If you want to find this, it's difficult to find actually if you don't know this area. But if you come up, and on the left hand side, if you come up past Faslane and up on the top of the hill, you'll see the firing range is on the left. There's a tiny, it's not signposted, there's a tiny little road on the right. You can cut over and you get to Strone Army Camp here. I spent a lot of my youth there shouting and screaming. But just as you come to the camp there, before you turn left, This is right here. But if you do go to the army camp, that's exactly where the battle at Glen Fruin took place, 1603. Interesting. That's it for this video, guys. I really hope you liked this. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below, maybe even hit that notification bell so you know the next time I upload a video to YouTube. If you want to watch another install or you want to watch another vlog, have a look at one of these here. I'll see you in the next one.